Guru Murthy ji? Oh.
Namaskar, Swamiji.
Let me see you. You invited me and all. At least let me have a look at your face.
Yes, sir.
Switch on your video, sir. Oh, thank you. So nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks.
अच्छा ये क्या बोले 7:30 to come around 7. So I've told some of my friends to join. I hope you people won't have any objection because they will not be talking. They're just interested in listening. Is that all right, Guru Murthy ji?
All right, Swamiji.
Huh?
All right.
Okay.
Perfectly fine. Thank you.
Okay. So it's 1 minute more to 6, and we begin then. So it's 6. Do we start?
Good evening. Yeah. Good evening, Swamiji.
Oh, let me begin with Pranam Mantra. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. This mantra comes from the Vedas and it's known as Shanti Mantra. And essentially it means that we, the teacher and the students, may we have love and affection for each other, and whatever we learn, may we be able to hold on to that. So that's the mantra. So you people belong to postgraduate MBA course, na? PG MBA or EPGP, Executive MBA.
Executive MBA, Swamiji.
Oh, acha, executive. That's wonderful because I was teaching this executive MBA course at IIM Indore from 2009 to 14, or 13, 5 years. I used to go visit them regularly. And some of them continue to be my very good friends. And based on the talks that I delivered there, I came up with the book Carving a Sky. If you look for me, Carving a Sky, my pen name is Samarpan. I don't use my full name, Swami Samarpananda. And it's a nice book. It's about perspective on life. It's Indian perspective on life. So it's wonderful coming across EPGP batch after so many years, because last I taught them was in 2013. I've also grown old and I'm no more deep into all this. So now, we had a discussion with Guru Murthy ji, and we decided on having a talk on growth and stability in corporate life. So now before I begin, I'll just request you, in case you people want some kind of discussion, something like once I'm over with it, you can ask me questions. We will have open discussion. And otherwise, if you have any question, you can ask me and we'll begin with that. So, most welcome. I was told that you are around 70 of you. Is it?
We are 93.
93. How many are attending this session?
Right now, the attendance is 91.
91? Oh, that's a big number. Acha, okay. It's just first page. Okay. There are 4 pages like this. Right. So, my dear friends, I treat you as friends because you are seniors, not those undergraduate MBAs or PG MBA, whatever they are known as. That is the regular MBA course. So I treat you as friends, and please let me know in case you have something you like to know, some discussion. Otherwise, I will continue with it, and whatever I discuss, you can ask questions based on that. Yes, Divya madam.
Swamiji, we all were in a mad race for material benefits till now. And during the lockdown, we realized the importance of slow life and being with the family. And 6 months from now, when we'll enter into the corporate world, we are again going to be living a very fast life. So, to overcome those challenges of the future, how can we draw some insights on how can we have growth and stability in the corporate life together?
Well, that exactly is the topic of my discussion today. So let me begin. And what I'll do is after every 10-15 minutes, I'll give you a break and I'll say that in case you want to ask something, please. And then we will have a discussion. So now, before I begin, let me tell you something about myself. And I'm an elderly monk, senior monk. I'm now 62 years old, and I belong to Ramakrishna Mission. And many of you might have heard about the Ramakrishna Mission. I became a monk when I was just 20 years old. So for last 42 years, I'm in the Ramakrishna Mission. And before that, also, I was in residential school and kind of residence in college. So I have been practically living a community life practically all through my life. I joined a residential school when I was hardly 10. So for the last 52 years, I am living a community life. Now, Ramakrishna Mission is essentially a community life, although it's a monastic life, it's a community life. And we work here, we are into serving the society, and we are also into different kinds of work. And I have worked in different areas of activity. For example, there is a very famous school in Jharkhand only, Ramakrishna Mission Vidyapit Devghar. So I was there for many years. And I have worked also in Narendrapur, which is a very famous educational complex. There have been other places where I worked. What I mean to say that the way my organization is a community life, corporate life is also a community life, which we fail to realize. Your corporate life is also just a community life. A fundamental difference between corporate life and, say, Ramakrishna Mission, which is also a community life. There's a slight difference between community life and corporate life. The difference lies in that in corporate life, you are constantly in a struggle to outpace others. You want somehow to outperform. There are many. You want to outperform. Generally, in community life, it's all about cooperation. For example, you are in a family, and supposing you are coming from a joint family, many of you might be coming from joint family. You will see that it's all about cooperation. The moment you get into corporate life, now you like to cooperate. You definitely like to cooperate, but you also like to outperform each other. And that is where all the problem begins. And the problem becomes so serious that we forget where the dividing line, the thin line between right and wrong is transgressed. As Dibya Madam beautifully asked, that once again we will be back into, you people will be back into the corporate life, you will once again be hectic, so you don't know how to lead your life. Once you get back into that life, you find that although you are leading a community life, the way I am leading a monastic life, I am also in community. But you're constantly trying to outpace others, outperform others. And its consequences are pretty bad. My favorite example is, I've got hundreds of such examples, but one example that I have loved, you must be knowing of Rupert Murdoch. And he had been a media mogul, and he used to run News of the World. It's a very famous journal. It used to come out every Sunday. And just before its last edition, that was in 2010-11, 30 lakh copies, 30 lakh, 3 billion copies used to sell every week. Every issue used to sell 30 lakh. And then there was a scandal. It was found that they were involved in a scandal, and the magazine had to be stopped. Now, what is sad about that magazine is that it had published practically all the famous authors of the world. So persons like Ernest Hemingway, then I think Mark Twain also, they had been published. And magazine was running for more than 100 years. In the last editorial that they published, News of the World, the editor wrote very beautifully that we praised high standards. We demanded high standards. Not only that we praised, we demanded. But we are now only too painfully aware. For a period of few years up to 2006, some who worked for us or in our name fell shamefully short of those standards. Quite simply, we lost our way, phones were hacked, and for that, this newspaper is truly sorry. This Murdoch empire, they were into phone tapping, and they were for their success in the business. They were getting into unethical practices. And finally, when it was proved, the whole thing came out. For example, you might be knowing about Enron, and there was that famous auditor company, Arthur Anderson. They were all involved in unethical practices and they had to be shut down. Why? See, India faced this problem long ago. India has known about this for thousands of years now. And we classify people in two categories. First one is we say the gods, the godly. The godly is one who have some spiritual outlook, who are a bit inclusive, who want to take others along with them. And then there are the asuras. The rightful translation won't be demonic. They are self-centered. They're extremely exclusive people. So our scriptures, the very old scriptures, define them as people who are extremely self-centered. They rely completely on their senses and on their mind. They want to have success at any cost and they want to be the winners. Things that you have been taught in your management training. There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem is that when you continue to be asura for a very long time, you become self-centered and you become so self-centered that ultimately you end up being Bhasmasur, who is a mythological character in Indian traditions, and he wanted all the power for himself. It's a very beautiful story, and then he did tapasya and he got a boon from Lord Shiva that whomsoever he touches will be burned to ashes. And then when he got the boon, he went to touch Lord Shiva himself. Lord Shiva ran. And then finally, somehow situation was created in such a way that Bhasmasur somehow was made to put his hand on his own head and he instantly became a heap of ashes. Why? This is what happens when you cross the limit of self-centeredness. That is why India has always preached, don't be self-centered to that extent and be inclusive. So when we want that growth and stability in corporate life, it's not only about corporate life, it's about community life. I am facing this all the time. When I was in residence in my school, in my college, and now I am with the Ramakrishna Mission, I am facing exactly the same thing. Nothing has changed for me. When you are in, say, in your family life, you are living with your husband, you are living with your wife, with your kids, and with your parents and in-laws, same situation is there. Nothing changes. To think that corporate life is something and family life is something and monastic life is something, no. Everything is same. It's all continuity. It's all a continuum. Now here we just discuss certain very fundamental things about life, which when practiced and which can be very easily practiced. And believe me, my dear brothers and sisters and my friends, I can tell you boldly, everything that I am going to discuss here has been practiced by me at some point of time or other. Not that I practice these all the time because that would be very difficult for me. But I have practiced each one of these at some point of life. So whatever I am saying is not something theoretical, it's something intensely practical and something which I have myself practiced. So first of this, if you are interested in knowing, is that it's good to have goals in life. These management people, they keep on teaching short-term goal and long-term goal and this goal and that goal. It's good. It's really good. But it is better to have a way of life. You set up goal in life. You want to do this, you want to, that's perfectly okay. Nothing wrong with it. Indian tradition never condemns anyone. Indian tradition only says that, okay, fine, it's good, but there is a better way to lead life. And what is that better way to lead life? They say, don't, it's good if you have a goal in life, but try to make that a way of life. And you people, because you are into corporate life, you are into business, for you, the best way of life is to create wealth for the society. All of you who are listening, and all my dear students and my dear friends who are listening, let me tell you, you have only one responsibility, and you can have only one way of life. There is no second thing, that you can have only one way of life, and that is to create wealth. Whatever you do, you know that you are there to create wealth for the society. You don't have any other purpose. Not for yourself, mind it, not for the company for which you are working, but create wealth. Once you create wealth for the society, for the nation, for the world, you will see that everyone gets the benefit. Just now we discussed about this news of the world by setting that example, that how not only that the magazine was stopped, it's not only about getting the magazine's publication stopped. Such a big loss for the readers, such a big loss for the authors, and such a big loss for the employees. They all lost. Why? Simply because someone wanted to outpace others. Don't create wealth. Create wealth. Now, when you are into creating wealth, there are certain things that you need to keep in mind. It is in nature of, it's in our nature, it's the nature of human beings to get into unethical practices at times, but not always, mind it. You will definitely get into unethical practices. I don't say that it's ever possible, but I say that know where to draw a line. Just remember that if you have a set, if you have set a goal for yourself, that's not the ultimate truth. You have to have a way of life. If you keep on judging your acts, if you keep on judging your thoughts based on that simple thing, that whether or not whatever you are doing is based on your way of life, you will see you won't have any problem. Now, how to do that, we will be discussing one after another. So, well, we had some talk. In case you want to raise objections, because it's you expected that you will not be agreeing to everything that I say, you can ask and I'll answer, and then from there I'll move forward. Yeah, I can see some of these names here. There is Priyanka Vishwas and Pawar Rahul and many of you. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. You can join me. You can send me mails if you want. But first, you need to understand what we are discussing. Yes, any one of you, please. Most welcome.
Namaskar, Swamiji.
Could you please switch on your video? I
Sir,
can't talk blank.
sir, actually, there is a little problem, sir. So
Oh
I'm not in
no.
a position to switch on
Could you
video.
please tell me who you are?
I am Abhinandan, sir. I am Abhinandan Lal.
Abhinandan.
Yeah,
Anyway, must be on some other page.
yeah.
Yes, Abhinandan.
So, sir, I would like to say that you have established a very beautiful connection between the corporate life and the community life. So that's inspires us. That yeah, that's the connection you have beautifully placed. But sir, there is still some point, something exists that is not
Okay. See, I have not
taken into the.
completed my talk. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just
So my
listen to
question.
some of the things,
Yeah,
and believe me, I'm not a motivational speaker.
yeah.
I'm a
No,
monk and I'm a
yeah.
teacher. Okay.
Sure, sir.
My job as a teacher is just to place the truth.
Yes, sure, sir.
There's a fundamental difference between me and any other speaker. And that's why I drive away audience. People get put off. People want pep talks.
Sure, sir.
People
Yes.
want quick results.
Hmm.
I know that there can never be quick results. If you want to put dynamite, if you want to destroy, You can have quick results, but construction requires long struggle, long struggle. So, so Abhinandanji, let me tell you that I'm not inspiring you. It's not my job to inspire. If you get inspired, so much the good. It's just a byproduct. I'm just placing certain fundamental facts of life before you. If you can pick these things up, you will see that life has become much more smooth for you. And if you think that you are inspired, so much the better for me. But believe me, I am not a motivational speaker and I don't inspire people. In fact, most people start perspiring after listening to my talks instead of getting inspired. Now,
Sir, I just want to understand just one thing, that still the corporate politics exist in
अरे
in
कहाँ
the today's
पॉलिटिक्स
world.
नहीं है
इधर
भगवान, स्वर्ग
So
में भी
so how to
पॉलिटिक्स
manage
है
that?
हाँ,
That's why
उधर
my
भी
question, sir.
पॉलिटिक्स
So
करते हैं नहीं, और
so how to
भगवान ने
handle?
पॉलिटिक्स करके ये दुनिया बना ली, वो गाना
Yes,
क्या
sir.
है, दुनिया बनाने वाले भाई को दुनिया बनाई।
Correct.
पॉलिटिक्स भैया सब जगह है, कहाँ
Yes.
पॉलिटिक्स नहीं रहता है,
Then
घर में
how?
पॉलिटिक्स नहीं। अभी देखो हाई कोर्ट ने दिया जजमेंट
जापान
कि सास और बहू में ये लगा ही रहता है, पॉलिटिक्स तो सब जगह है, पॉलिटिक्स कहाँ नहीं रहेगा। बिना पॉलिटिक्स की जिंदगी चलेगी कैसे? खाली
So
चावल को
how?
बॉयल करके और दाल को बॉयल करके और आलू को बॉयल करके खाया जा सकता है क्या? You need spices.
Correct. Correct.
Politics is the spice of life.
Correct.
I love creating problems and I love facing problems. Believe me, brother and sister, of course. Believe me, I love trouble and I invite trouble and I bask in troubles. And that is what has made me grow. Because if you are living in your comfort zone, you will end up being Ande Ka Shahzada. He's a very famous egg prince. Absolutely worthless fellow you will be. If you read my book, T.I. Parrot's Journey Home, it's about that. Tia is a parrot. It gets out of its comfort zone. Come out of comfort zone. Face politics. Bolo, come, dangal ho jaye. And that will build your muscles. Swami Vivekananda famously says, this world is a gymnasium. It's like a gymnasium where you come to build your muscles. So much the better. जहां पॉलिटिक्स नहीं है, लड़ाई नहीं है, टांग खिंचाई नहीं है, वो जीना कोई जीना है भैया।
चपड़ 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 चपड़
क्या यार, बोलो, मजा आ गया सुन करके ना?
Yes, sir. That answers my question.
अरे कोई तो बोलो, मजा आया कि नहीं सुन करके? Anyone of you? Hello?
That is the definite truth of our life. In every aspect,
अरे
politics
वही तुमको
is
बोल रहा हूँ
there.
ना, लास्ट 2 क्लास में वही हुआ है,
क्या हुआ?
चपड़ 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 चपड़।
नहीं, you shouldn't be angry. You shouldn't be angry. Let people talk. हाँ, प्रियंका, you are talking ना, प्रियंका?
Yes, sir.
बोलो.
So I was telling, like, this is like definite truth for every aspects of our life, not only like corporate, family, every place that politics is there, and it gives our spice to our life.
Yes, perfectly all right. See, I'm slightly different kind of person. So my thought process, it doesn't really gel with all others. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. Now, next part is, it is, good to grow. You want to grow like a tree grows. It's really good to grow, but it is better to take others along with you. That means be inclusive. Wherever you are, in the corporate world, you are in family life, you are wherever you are in, say, I am a monk, I am in Ramakrishna mission, I always want to take people along with me. So let me tell you a very beautiful incident from Mahabharata, which has impressed me deeply. Every one of you must be knowing this story, that there were these 5 princes, Pandavas, and they won the war and they got the empire. They enjoyed life, and a time came when they were filled with remorse and they decided to leave everything and go on Mahaprasthan. It's a very famous story. So Yudhishthir, along with his brothers and Draupadi, they started walking up the Himalayas. And they went on walking and walking and walking. And then Nakul fell down. So Yudhishthir was there, then there was Bhim, then there was Arjun, and then was Draupadi. And then there was Nakul and Sahadev. Sahadev and Nakul. So when Nakul fell down, so Bhim says, brother Yudhishthir ko, Nakul has fallen down. He says, yeah, yes. He felt that he's very beautiful, very handsome. Now after a while, Sahadev fell down. Bhim again says that, then Yudhishthir says, yes, he thought that he's very wise. Then there was Draupadi. Draupadi fell down, and then Yudhishthir says that, see, no, Draupadi was after Arjun. First, Arjun falls. He says that Arjun bragged a lot. He said he could win the war in a day and he's dead. Then Draupadi fell down. He says Draupadi had married all of us, but she loved Arjuna more. And then Bhim himself fell down. And he said, no, what sin I have committed? He said, you were too greedy about food. Now see, this is such a beautiful story. Yudhishthir is an ideal leader. He was the leader of the princes. He knew the defect of each one of them throughout. He never uttered a word. It's phenomenal thing. Why phenomenal? Because see, you can never correct a person. Remember it. You can never correct a person. When you have a team, very often you will be taught in your management courses. You have a team. You have been given a team. For example, there is Indian cricket team now in Australia. The captain has got a team. He has to work with that. He can give some pep talk. You used to give pep talk. But there are core incompetence. There are core defects. Those core defects can never be corrected. You cannot correct the core defects of any person. It's just not possible. So never speak about it. As a leader, it is your job never to speak about the core incompetence of a person. And that is the best way to be inclusive. You can encourage a person. You can take a person along. And that is your job. And the best way to take a person along with you is never to point out the core incompetence. When I was talking about it at IIM Indore, so those executives, they said, no, Swamiji, we have been taught that we should talk about their weaknesses so they can overcome. I said, you can never help anybody grow in that area. Rather, you will make somebody an enemy. If they make some small mistakes, you can say, but that core weakness area, you should never talk about it. Yudhishthir, he knew that my brothers have these defects and there was no way that he could set them right. He never spoke about it. And when they were dead, he just casually mentioned. Now that's how a good leader should work in a corporate world. Second one is that I keep on talking about whenever I get a chance. Hindu religion has certain specialties. One of them is Panch Mahayagya, 5 great sacrifices that need to be performed daily as a devout Hindu. Here we are discussing this about how to lead a corporate life. There also you need to do 5 yagyas every day and regularly. 5 yagyas daily. First of this is known as Brahmayakya. These are technical terms you may not remember. I don't know if a recording is on, and if you listen, probably you will be able to remember, or you can take down notes if you wish. First one is Brahmayakya, where you are supposed to study the materials related to the work in which you are. Supposing you are into electronic manufacturing or you are into computer world, you should be studying the literature related to your work on a daily basis. Spend an hour or two daily. If you really want growth in your life, if you want stability in life, you must do that. Second is, there are your bosses. You have to pay respects to them properly. This is known as Dev Yagya. You need to pay respect. You need to be cordial with them. See, we don't like many people. We don't like our superiors. But Hindus will say that it's very true that we may not like them. But the huge machinery of that corporate world or of this community life is run because of the bosses. So you need to be obedient to them. You need to be respectful towards them. And you must go on saying, good morning, sir, good evening, sir. Third one is Pitri Yagya, which means those who built that empire, those who have retired, you must be respectful towards them and try to organize meetings and all. These things create positive energy in work environment. If somebody who has retired or who has left, he comes, you have to show proper respect because it is their contribution that has made it possible for you to work in that successful environment. The fourth one, which is very important, is known as Manushya Yagya. Your colleagues, they may be your competitors. You want to outperform them. You want to be more successful compared to them. But remember that your success depends hugely on what they have been doing. See, for example, we are living in this society. There are policemen. Policemen may be corrupt. Sometimes people say that policemen are corrupt. I have got lots of friends in police services. And as the luck would have, each one of them is ultimate model of honesty. So maybe whether they are honest, they are dishonest, that does not matter. But it is those police personnel because of which we are able to sleep at peace at night. So we have to be respectful. We have to be grateful towards them. Just like that, your colleagues, they may be your competitors. You may be angry with them. You may not like their ways. But it is they whose continuous cooperation makes your own work successful. And the last one is known as Bhuta Yagya, which means persons who are inferior to you. Now, this is my favorite. If you cannot do the four, the earlier four, the fifth one you must focus. People who are in your community life, who are in the corporate world, who are inferior to you. For God's sake, if you forget everything that I say, please remember this point. Those who are inferior to you, make sure to pay special care to them. Make sure to pay special respect to them. See, how much you have grown in life, that's not really very important. How much your bosses have praised you, that's not important. To me, as a monk, to me, as a person, the most important thing for me will always be that wherever I was, in whatever center I was, I've been in quite a few centers of the Ramakrishna Mission, how the supporting staff, those who served in our center, say for salary, how they looked at me and how they look at me. You'll be surprised to know that the centers which I left maybe 20 years, 25, 30 years ago, the workers, they still remember me fondly. And if they are anywhere near where I am, they make it a point to come visit me. Now, I am not beating my own drum. What I am trying to tell you is that anytime if I hear that my superiors are angry with me, they are criticizing me, I'll somehow bear. But if I hear that some staff of mine is annoyed with me and cannot stand my presence, something, I will die out of shame. This is taking everybody along with you. These five, known as Panch Mahayagya, a very good friend, Mr. Ravi Chandran, he was director of IIM Indore. I did not know him earlier. When we met in 2009, we hit off very well. And I told him that, see, if possible, you should work it out. You should write a book on corporate mantras. And there, this Panch Mahayagya, these five should be the five mantras for success in the corporate world, where you learn how to take people along with you. If you cannot take people along with you, you become an asura, which we mentioned just now. You have to take everybody along. And here we are mentioning just our corporate life, corporate world. So these five, extremely important, vital, and crucial. And third point, while when we are discussing how to be inclusive, how to make yourself grow, how to take others along with you, is respect. You have to have respect for everybody. Respect is something which, no, Shraddha. It's partly related to Panch Mahayagya. But now beyond this Yagya, these people who are with you, who have contributed in the growth of that corporation, it's not only that, beyond that, you need to respect money. You make money, you make a lot of money, and you don't know what to do with that money. See, now with this computer culture there, everything is no blip and click. There is a mouse, you click, and there is cursor's blip. You get a job with blip and click, and you give up a job with blip and click. You make money, you lose money. You don't know what you're doing with your money. You marry and you divorce. You fall in love and you fall out of love. What kind of life you are leading? Respect relationship. Respect everything that is coming your way. Respect wealth in Indian tradition. Goddess of wealth is Lakshmi. Lakshmi is to be respected. See, Divya madam was telling just now about corona and lockdown and this and that. Do you realize that those who have not realized during this lockdown how vital, how important wealth is for each one of us? Because see, income has dried up. People have been committing suicide due to poverty. See, even now, if we don't learn how to respect wealth and how to save money, we are stupid, we are foolish. Similarly, respecting time. There are very beautiful adages, very beautiful sayings about how if you don't utilize your time, you are forgotten by time. And if you kill time, time kills you. No, you should learn to respect time, because ultimately there is one thing. There are two very important things in your life. One is your mind, second is time. There is no third important thing in life. When you want to make fool of somebody, you can say that you're the most important person in my life. You can say this and that, but ultimately there are only two things which you have. There are only two important things. One is your own mind, and second is application of that mind through time. So respecting yourself, respecting others, and respecting time, these are extremely vital, and this is what makes you ultimately inclusive. Friends, try practicing it and you will see your life will change within a day or two. It don't take months. And as you keep on practicing, it's just like going to the gym. When you practice in gym, your muscles are built. As you practice these things, your muscles get built. So this is something that I wanted to say, that it's good to grow. You should grow. Nothing like growing. But it is better to take others along. And we are taking others along, when you are being inclusive, these are the three important things that we mentioned, that how a leader should learn to digest. Second is the concept of Brahmayakya. And third one, respect. Have respect for yourself. Think you are the best. Actually, you are the best, no doubt about it. And learn to respect others, learn to respect wealth, learn to respect relationship, learn to respect time. Now, I will have to give you a break, because I'm sure lots of things that we have been discussing would be quite new to you. They may not be new, but this is a class, this is not a one-way talk. So I invite you to comment, to discuss. In case you have any questions, please, most welcome. I can see only one person on video, Dibya Rana.
Sir, you
And there's
mentioned
no one
that
else. Or maybe yes, not every. Just a second. Actually, the first time I am on Zoom. Oh, no, others are also not there. Okay, so now please, some discussion, some question. And as I said, please remember that. Don't think that corporate life is something different from community life, just that there you want to outperform. If you're working in a school, if you're working in a college, or as I am working in an organization, I'm a monk in this organization, here we have to do lots of work. So it's all same. You're in families, everything is same. And what I'm discussing here is equally applicable to family life as it is applicable to a corporate life. There's no difference. It's absolutely same. we need to change perspective. Since our childhood, we have been learned to perform, we have been taught to perform, and we have been taught how to succeed and how to perform and how to beat others. But life is more complicated than we think. So please, now if you don't ask, I'll assume that you people are not interested.
Sir, you mentioned that we need to create wealth for the society, for the nation, for the world, but and to take everyone together with you.
Along with you, not together,
Along with you. So how is that really possible? Like creating wealth is fine, but it even someone creates wealth, it will be in this world itself. Like it will be in the society. So what is different? What about what you are speaking?
You see what happens, if you ask me very personally, one person who has really inspired me on a lot, although I did not follow in his footsteps, is Jamshedji Tata. Jamshedji Tata, I was fascinated by his biography, Jamshedji Tata. And as the luck would have, uh, I had contacts with some of these Tata families, Tata Sons, particularly belonging to Tata Sons. Those of you who are from Mumbai would know Tata Sons. And I've been fascinated by their work culture, and I'm deeply impressed by their commitment to creation of wealth for the nation. Now, if you read the biography of Jamshedji Tata, J.R.D. Tata, Ratan Tata, what they have done is they have created wealth for the nation, for the country. In the process, they earned wealth, and they have made trusts, and those trusts are doing marvelous job. And see, your famous Indian uh, Institute of Science, IISc, the top science institute of the country is by the Tatas. TIFR, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, by the Tatas. See, imagine the kind of work they have done. Unlike many other companies, for example, Bill Gates is a wonderful person because there's a very famous saying in Bengali. First you kill a cow, then make a shoe out of it and gift it. गोरू मेरे जूतो दान, गाय को मार के उसका जूता दान. पहले गाय को मार दो, उसकी चमड़ी से फिर जूता बनाओ, उस जूता को गिफ्ट करो, पुण्य कमा लो. See, these people, persons like Bill Gates, and it's not about naming anybody, I'm just telling, most companies, what they do is first they loot the public, they don't create wealth. Mind it, that is something that hurts me. They loot public and then they create this CSR, corporate social responsibility. No, I often invited by different companies to deliver talk. And first thing I say, if it's a CSR talk, I'm not going there. Because what they do in CSR is they have some fund and they are not ready to even gift that money to the society. So they invite some person, somebody like me, and they will have a huge party and coming and going expenses, and they will show it in CSR. What kind of cheating is this? Are you creating wealth for the nation? Now, believe me, when it comes to businessmen, there must be some really great businessmen all over the world. But India, the little that I know is the Tata families. So they made wealth. They were creating wealth for the nation. Now, it's a wrong notion that if I grow, others grow. No, it is the other way around. If others grow, you grow. If you look at life, and I wrote it in my book, Carving a Sky, there are only 4 goals of life that there can be. There is no 5th goal. First is dedicate yourself to some kind of knowledge, vidya. Create wealth for the society, sampad. Serve the society, seva, and give up everything for God, tyag. There is no 5th goal of life. No 5th goal of life. Take up one, take up more of these. If you are really great, you will take up one of these. If you're not very good, for example, I'm not very good. So I combine these two. I combine rather 3. I'm not into creating wealth for the society because I'm a monk. But I am into serving the society. I am into Vidya because I dedicate my thought process, my thinking, and I come up with books. My eighth book has just come out, Kratu. It's a novel. And of course, I'm a sannyasi. I have sacrificed practically everything. Not fully because mentally I still have attachments. But if you are great, you will dedicate yourself completely to one ideal. And this is what I say when I said it is good to have goals, it is better to have a way of life. Have a way of life. Believe me, think over it. Think over it. And once you realize that, yes, I have to create wealth for the nation, I have to create wealth for the society, I have to create wealth for my state, you will see things will change for you completely. See, coming back to further basics, there are two possibilities about your existence. Just two possibilities. One is YOLO, as they say, you only live once. YOLO, you only live once. And second is, as we Hindus believe, life is a continuum. You were born earlier, you were there, you are here, you will again be there. Now see, if you live only once, then why bother? Why not sacrifice? Why sacrifice? Because, well, I'm telling you, others have told you to loot. But you know that there is only a limit. There's only a limit of consumption. You cannot go beyond that. If there is only one life, actually I say it, my words are slightly different. I say, if God is true, how meaningless this world is. And if God is not true, how meaningless this world is. It's a very simple thing. Problem with each one of us, those of you who are listening and those of you who might listen to these talks later on, is that actually we suffer. Actually, we don't have power. We don't have inner fire within us. We don't have power because of one simple reason, and that is because we don't have any philosophy of life. We focus so much on life. We forget that philosophy of life is greater than life itself. Gandhiji was great not because he focused on life. Gandhiji became great because he focused on philosophy of life. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he became famous. He is such a famous person. Why? Because he focused on philosophy of life. Look at anyone. For example, there was Premchand, the famous Hindi author. Why is famous? Because he focused on philosophy of life. He dedicated himself completely to writing. Do it. Dedicate yourself to somebody. You say that, okay, fine. Here I dedicate myself to creating wealth. And the way I am talking about Jamshedji Tata or J.R.D. Tata, someday people will be talking about you. Huh? There is Tarun Srivastava and Akhor Yaman and Gaurav Jaiswal. They will be talking about you. That is such a good person. And they might try to delve deep in your life, and they will say that, okay, he had listened to one talk by Swami Samarpananda and his life changed, and he dedicated himself to a philosophy of life, and he went all out to create wealth for the society. So yes, friend, whosoever asked me, is it possible? Not only that this is possible, this is the way. You decide whether you want to end up being ordinary or you want to be extraordinary. You decide whether you want to live and die like a dog, caring for your own belly, eat, sleep, and have sex. Nidra Methun. Kadam. What exactly? What are these? What is Bill Gates doing? See, if you try to bring things to brass tacks, ultimately, howsoever great a person, if he is not dedicated to knowledge, if he is not dedicated to creating wealth for the society, if he is not dedicated to serving the society, or if he is not giving up everything for God, rest everything is simply eat, sleep, sex. So it's over.
Swamiji, Devashish Patra has a question for you. And
Devashish Patra.
yes, sir.
Patra, yes. Devashish, I can't see. Boliye.
Swamiji, he has a question that Swamiji, an observation I had for the on the corporate world, when you are the person who thinks of others and you are nice in your
No, I'm not. I'm
I
not able to get your. Divyaji, please explain.
Prafulla Vaidyaji, please, Sharmishta Banerjee, will you please mute the.
No, some of them might be from my this thing,
Okay, okay,
but
Swami.
you focus only from your class.
Okay, so he says that those people who are nice in their behaviors and who think good about others, so people start taking you for granted and they start showing you arrogance, and even few top leaders maintain their status by behaving
Because
arrogantly.
see, Divyaji, it's a very simple thing. Generally, I'm never good to people, and I'm infamous for that because I'm honest. See, you are trying to be good because you expect something out of it. That means you are indulging in some kind of bartering, you're indulging in some kind of business. And as in any business, business fails, business succeeds. Your business failed, nothing wrong with it. You will be good because it is your nature to be good. Don't be good because you want to get something out of goodness. Gandhiji practiced non-violence. Gandhiji practiced satya, truth, not because he wanted to get something out of it. He said, this is my way of life. I am good because this is my way of life. I am sannyasi, not because I want to pose before the society that see how great I am. I love it. I love it. So I'm like this. You will be good because that is your nature. This is where the problem lies. You are always investing, you know, because you're in the corporate world, you're in business world, you are always thinking of इसमें मुझे क्या मिलेगा, अच्छा मैं अगर अच्छा बनूंगा तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा, मैं अगर खराब बनूंगा तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा, इतना चीट करेंगे तो कितना मिलेगा, दूध में कितना पानी मिलाएंगे तो मुझे कितना मिलेगा. Well, this is business, and business succeeds, business fails. So business fails. But if it is your way of life, there is no question of failing, because there is no question of failing and success and short term and long term. No, this is my way of life. Even if I fail 1,000 times, I will do only that. There's a very beautiful story, and I'm sure most of you must have heard of that story, that there was a sadhu baba taking bath in a river, and there was a scorpion that had been swept off during with the current. So sadhu baba felt so pity, and he went and tried to pick pick up that scorpion. So as he was coming near the bank, water slipped out of his fingers, and the scorpion stung him. So he cried out in pain, and the scorpion fell. Then the sadhu baba tried to save it again, and then third time. So somebody on the bank said that, see, this scorpion is biting, stinging you like this, and you're still doing it. And then that sadhu says, it's such an ordinary creature. It is not giving up its nature. How can I, a monk, a noble person, give up my nature? Well, if you can be good like this, be. If you can't, be bad. Be an asura. And a time will come you will become a Bhasmasura. And just like we discuss news of the world, you will be destroyed. Out and out. Finished. Bola Divya Rana ji. I can see only you. I don't know why you people are not switching your video. I thought that on Zoom meet I can see the faces, but I'm not able to see faces. Only Divya Rana ji I can see. You are working for some company, Divya madam?
Sir, I'm doing my executive MBA in
No,
XLL.
otherwise you are working somewhere?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
Swamiji.
Where?
Swamiji, we had our own business of physical security services.
Oh, that's wonderful. Are you from military background? No.
Yes, Swamiji.
You're from military. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I know some military people who get into this kind of training, and I think twice or thrice I delivered talk at I am Indore to military personnel, and some of them are still friends with me. That's
Swamiji,
wonderful.
this is my own personal experience also, that when you are soft spoken with people, so and this has been happening a lot of times, and I was thinking of taking psychological counseling session also, because I need I think a major turnaround in my pattern of behavior, that my soft spoken behavior or good nature is same as Devashish Patra. It's taken for granted. So somewhere I have to, maintain a strict aura to defend myself.
But how does it contradict what I'm saying? Did I ever tell you? There's a very beautiful story that Sri Ramakrishna used to say, that in a village there was a cobra, and it used to, whenever the kids used to play, that cobra would come hissing, and those kids used to run away. Once a monk was passing by. When he heard that there is a deadly cobra, he went and he kind of sprinkled some mantra, and cobra became completely docile. Then he told, "Why you are so violent? Why you are so violent? Give up this violence." So then he said, "Here is a mantra, you practice it." Basically, this is a story to deliver an idea. Now, after that, the monk, that snake became completely non-violent. Now, when the kids found that this snake, he doesn't bite, they started throwing stones at that snake, and one of them catch, caught hold of that snake by the tail and threw it. So it's a long story to cut it short. Well, that monk later made that snake and found the plight in which it was. He said, "I told you not to bite. I told you not to put poison. I never asked you not to hiss." If you find that there are people who are out there to harm you, you have to hiss, but you must not bite. You must not put poison in the system. See, you're continuously confusing between goodness and weakness. Weak people are never good. See, I've been a monk teacher, I've been principal, and whenever I used to take interview at Ramakrishna Mission Vidyapit Devgar, I was principal there. I used to make sure not to have any docile student admitted. I used to say, I can't stand docile people because they are dangerous. Strength. See, goodness comes out of strength. And see, believe me, if you are ready to believe me, I have never harmed anybody. I don't harm it, no way. But no one can take liberties with me. This is goodness. Goodness comes out of strength. Goodness does not come out of weakness. So, all these things are, problem is, pardon me for being brutal. I am not brutal. I am just telling you the truth. I'm just being honest. We people are innately so weak, so worthless. Basically, we are so worthless, so weak, that we try to cover our weakness with the roses of goodness. We forget that the roses of goodness cannot hide the stink that is coming out from the carcass of our weakness. Our weakness is like a dead body that is stinking, and we try to cover it with goodness. I am so good. And that stink comes out. And once the stink comes out, people catch that stink and they hit you. If you have strength, you will be different. You will be completely a different person. Swami Vivekananda, I'm sure every one of you has heard of Swami Vivekananda. He was a strong person. He never harmed anybody in his life. Such a strong person. So once he was coming when he was coming from America, he was on a ship and there was a Christian father. He was continuously condemning India and Hinduism. Swami Vivekananda kept listening, and suddenly he caught hold of his collar. He says, "One more word and I'll throw you in the ocean." Finished. One sentence. And if I am to believe Miss Divya Rana, if you are from military, you must be knowing lots of martial art. You have to just say one stroke and you're finished. But no more. Simple, such a simple thing. I don't know where from these discussions come. I really don't know. And as I told you,
Yeah.
I'm generally good to all. And wherever I'm here, I'm presently at my university, which is a deemed university. I'm here for the last 15, 16 years. And believe me, my staff, those who clean the place and those who are running the offices, they love me. They really love me. And they know that they cannot take liberties with me. They know that, and yet they love me. So you have to be
Sudhi
good.
Gupta has something for you. She says, Swamiji, you have mentioned how the Tatas created value for the nation.
Wealth for the nation.
Yes, sir.
Wealth,
Wealth for the
not
nation.
value, wealth.
Wealth for the nation. Having been a part of a Tata company, I respect their values. At
No,
the
no, I'm not talking about values, please. I'm talking about creation of wealth, and I talked only about Jamshedji Tata. I'm not talking about the present generation, because you know that there was that famous scandal some time ago that what was that name? That lady, some 8-10 years
Neither
ago.
idea.
Huh?
Neither idea.
That phone
Neither
scandal
idea.
was there, and the whole thing had come out. Nadia,
The Docomo one, sir.
huh?
Docomo one. NTT Docomo.
There was something that.
Nadia tape.
Cyrus
Ramakrishna.
Mistry.
Sir?
Cyrus Mistry.
No. There was that PR person. She was an independent PR person, and she was working, and then there was a big scandal. No, we are not talking about the present generation, because I don't know much about them now. I'm talking about the Tatas who created wealth for the nation. Now, and Tata are respected. This is what I mean to say, that why get into these individual examples? Try to grasp what I'm trying to tell you. Go all out to create wealth, because this is the way of life you have chosen. For example, if Miss Divya is like that, some of you might be here who are from the military background or from some that kind of background. When you are into that, you are completely dedicated to that, totally dedicated to that. Just like that, you are in the corporate world. Now you dedicate yourself completely to creating wealth. For example, if somebody is there, for example, I am here at the university. My job is to dedicate myself and to take with me every student towards knowledge. My job is to focus on knowledge. My job is to take students to that knowledge. And I'm very firm about it. I'm dedicated. I'm sincere about it. What I mean to say that, have a philosophy of life, have a way of life. You decide what will be your way of life. And remember, there can be only one of these four or a combination of these four: Vidya, Sampad, Seva, Tyag. It is no fifth. If you can, you will grow in life, your life will be stable. If you cannot, you will not grow in life, your life will not be stable. Then don't blame anything else. If you ever come, see, if you contact me, I'll give you my email ID. You can contact me. I can give you my phone number. You can contact me. But remember, I'll sort out your problems. I'll discuss your problems only if you say that, yes, you are now dedicated to a philosophy of life. You have taken a philosophy of life. You have taken up a way of life, and now you're progressing on that. And here the problems are. Normally, we are weak. Normally, we don't want to work hard, and we come up with these lame excuses. I was trying to be good. I was good. Why this happened? Actually, we are as weak as worms. Period. Stop. Yes.
If I may add my question in here.
Who is that? Not
This
able
is
to.
Surbi Gupta, sir.
Huh?
Surbi Gupta.
Okay. Okay. Actually, it's not showing on the first page. Yes, please.
Sir, the later part of my question may make sense with what you have said right now. That when we are trying to be good and we make lame excuses, and we do not achieve our objective. Yes, we are weak. It's just an excuse of being weak. So I have in my organization seen many times that there are three kinds of people I faced. One were who wanted to work, who wanted to work uh, of their what was their responsibility and achieve more. The other one was who were not who were okay in their work but also wanted to include in CSR and a lot of other things at the same time, but they were not looking for a lot of growth. And the third type was those who were always talking about work, that how they think that this would be better, yeah, or if they take another, if they start doing something else it would get better, but they never took any action, and they did not even do their own job. which created issues for the people who were working, because now they have to take up their responsibility and the responsibility of others who have not done their work. So these kind of people we face in each organization, and a lot of time people get lost because of this, because they are busy in completing the existing responsibilities that they are not able to think of ahead.
Now, whenever you have questions, please try to put it in less than 1 minute, okay? I can catch your question. Now, believe me, I missed your name. See, it's a universal study. It's a result of universal study. In any organization, only 30% of the people work. Any organization. And in government organizations, less than 20% people work. And see, if 30% people are working in an organization, the organization thrives. So that part is over. Now, believe me, please listen to what I'm saying, in the sense that we are not discussing what kind of people are there in this society. We are not discussing what kind of people are there in the organization. I'm talking to you. I'm trying to make you great. Why bother about what others are doing? Was Gandhiji looking at what others was doing? No, he was not. You focus on your growth. Once you grow, everyone will bow down his or her head before you. This is a problem. We are continuously trying to judge others. He's like that, she's like that, he is this. Why? Are you great? What is so great about you? You were born in a good family, you had some decent education, and you got a job. What is so special about it? This is a very serious problem with each one of us, that very often we get something through inheritance. You may have a very good look. You might be looking beautiful. You're handsome. You're intelligent. You have wealth. You have education. But they are not yours. You got it somehow. I feel proud about it. What is your achievement? What did you achieve in life? Because you see, this is a very serious problem with each one of us. We try to bask in the glory of what we don't have, what is not ours. Achievement makes you humble. Achievement makes you humble. There is a very famous saying. Einstein was once introduced to a very young physicist and told that he's so humble. Einstein says, what? He's so young, he has no achievement. How can he be humble? When you criticize others, basically you are not humble. When you find faults with others, actually you are not humble. Why? Because you don't have achievement, because you have not worked. So please, let's not discuss others. We are here to see how we benefit from this kind of discussion. You come to Ganga, supposing you go to Haridwar, or you come to Belur Math, where we have such beautiful Ganga, and you have come for a bath. Why bother who all are not taking bath? Think of yourself taking the bath. You have come there to take bath. You are here to pick up ideas from me. You are here to listen to me and make your life blessed. Why worry about what others do? You be great. And maybe some people at some point of time may decide to pick up some values from you. They might become great. Otherwise, the world will continue to be like a dog's curly tail. Howsoever you may try to straighten it, it will never be straightened. So don't you ever try. You are here to make your life blessed, make your life blessed. हाँ बोलिए. Gurumurti ji, are you there or you're gone?
Swamiji, I'm here.
Okay, so how do you like the talk?
For my personal thing, I can able to learn a lot. And how can
my talk is not phenomenal. I thought you will say it is phenomenal. I love to hear kind words about what I do. Huh? So
thank you so much. It's like a kind of I can able to relate a lot of things for my life also.
Very good.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Okay, so next is when you are working, wherever you are working, some of you, my dear friends, I'm sure you want to talk a lot about this. And see, naturally, it's not possible to cover all the topic, and it's definitely not possible for me to listen to each one's problems and each one's confusion. I'm just giving you a general idea, and if God permits, if luck permits, we might interact again individually or a community. Always focus on the small details of life. Small details of life. They say that, see, trifle, the small things bring perfection in life. Perfection brings attitude in life. Perfection brings attitude. And once perfection brings attitude, it's then that you start becoming successful. To give you an example, if you are interested, as I told you, I have taught 5 batches and I am Indore, and I was talking the same kind of things. And then based on that and many other things, I wrote a book, Carving a Sky. It's a good book. And there are scores of people who have made that book a daily read. All these things are in my head, and I take classes here, and here also I talk about these things. But when I was invited by Mr. Gurumurthy ji to deliver a talk, I very clearly decided what all I am going to discuss. And I prepared a complete paper of everything that I am going to discuss. And I kept on fine-tuning the entire thing, even just before I came for the class. And I started from my seat. I just have a small chair and a table. When I started from there, it was around 5:30, and I took the last printout of what I am going to discuss with you. And yet, everything is in my head. Even then, I always pay attention to the smallest detail. I may fail, I may not succeed. Now, whenever big things are done, for example, imagine during war, for example, Divya Ranashesi is from the army, she would be knowing. In army, it's not possible for them to overlook even the smallest thing, because one small blunder, as they say, for the want of nail, a war is lost. There is a very famous poem. If you overlook these small details of life, know that you don't have an attitude. If you don't have an attitude, here attitude does not mean arrogance. Attitude, outlook towards life. And if you don't have an attitude, know that you will not succeed. You will not grow. For example, supposing I were in your position listening to this talk, I would have made sure
Hello.
and pain, and I've made sure to note down as many points as I can. These are the small details. See, success does not lie in macro, but micromanagement. In management parlance, this is known as micromanagement. It's a micromanagement. It's the small things. It's the trifles that create attitude in your mind. And once that attitude is created, now you are ready to go ahead in life. You don't succeed in life because you don't have an attitude. You don't have an attitude because you don't pay attention to the small things. You might be paying attention to some big things. Once you get a job, you think you have a nice office. And, if you ever chance to come, and some of my friends are listening to these talks, I'm a senior member of this university, very senior member. Initially, when we came, this building was just constructed. And I have a very small desk, and I have just a chair, and there is a computer. In that open space where many others sit, I've been sitting for last 15 years now. And I have written 8 books. And those of you who might have tried to check about me on Wikipedia would find Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he called me up to say that my book, Tia, is a great book. And later he wrote many times that is one of the 5 best books that he has read in life. And I created that book just sitting there in a corner where many others sit, and our accounts office of the department is there. And you'll be horrified. And many times, many famous people have come to meet me here. And they're horrified to see where I sit, because these things do not matter. What matters is my way of life. A plush office, neither I will get nor I care to get. And once you are into that act, see, it is your life that matters. All this honor and all these things that you get, they are of absolutely of no use. It is your life that matters. It is your growth that matters. And in that, these things, these trappings, they have no value. Focus on travels, have an attitude. And second thing about this is that you need to learn to withdraw. Never get attached. Never be too attached with anything. Supposing you are working for a corporate house, don't be too attached with it. They are paying you, and as we mentioned in five Mahayagyas, the corporate yagyas, you need to repay them. You need to be sincere, but don't be too attached. You don't own the company. That's not your job. Secondly, whatever post you have, don't get too attached to it. Don't get too attached to your name and fame, to your no, nothing. You should know to step back, maybe just one or two steps. Internally, you should be detached. If you go through Gita, where they're talking famously about karmanye vadikaraste, this is what Sri Krishna says. You need to withdraw. You need to be detached. You need to be slightly away from it. You will see a lot of peace will come in your life. You will learn. See, there is your wife. You need to give space to her. You have kids. You give little space to them. You need to give space. When we are talking about withdrawal, it's about giving space. And we are discussing attitude, how to build attitude wherever you are. Whether you are in a private job or you are in corporate job, wherever you are in family life, you are in community life, you need to give space to others. And this demands slight withdrawal. And attitude, the attitude to work anywhere requires regularity. Regularity. Unless there is an emergency, you should never take a break. Never, never take a break.
Hello.
See, your company may say that we allow so many leave. No, don't. Unless there is an emergency, for example, your family demands a vacation, you go. But regularity. Similarly, you have a daily life, maintain a regularity. Try to get up at the same time in the morning. Try to have same kind of meal. Don't go on experimenting. Experimentation. Time comes in life where experimentation must stop. Experimentation must not continue.
Hello.
Yes. Any problem?
So, Swamiji, I think someone from the ashram has not muted. So he's saying hello.
Someone from the ashram?
I, so someone from your end, like your
Acha, no. Acha,
yeah,
maybe. Okay.
Vivo 1904 is speaking.
Huh?
There's some person logged in as Vivo. He's saying
Vivo.
hello.
Okay, no, I don't know any Vivo. Maybe somebody might have come.
Hello, Maharaji.
Who?
I'm Manman from Jayanagar.
Who?
Manmendra from Jayanagar.
No, not able to relate.
Manmendra.
Who?
Manmendra Brahmani.
Manvendra, you move away from here. Manvendra, move away from here.
Yes.
Manvendra, move away from here. Not in this talk. No, no, no.
Okay.
Please. We are having some very serious discussions. You're not here. Okay. So any question based on this? Divyaji, bolo. What we discussed.
Yes, Swamiji, I'm really finding it insightful. I don't have a question, but it's really insightful. I'm getting a lot.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that at least some of you liked it. Now, another thing that I always try to tell my management students that multitasking is good, but staying focused is very important. Multitasking, very often, once I was talking at IIM Indore, and there they told me, I was talking about this focusing on one thing, and the student said how the teacher in the previous class talked about multitasking, importance of multitasking. See, multitasking is, kids do multitasking, immature minds do multitasking. Multitasking is not meant for mature minds, multitasking is not meant for grown-up minds. I am always reminded of a beautiful story which comes in Mahabharata again. It's about the fight between Karna and Arjun, but there a story is mentioned about a crow and a swan. There was a crow which knew 100 different kinds of flight, and he boasted about it. So once came a swan, and that swan, good looking. So the crow started bragging. The crow started bragging. I said, see, I know 100 kinds of flight. The swan said, look, I know only one kind of flight. Now, to prove the superiority, there was a flight competition between the crow and the swan. Now, swan, long flyer, went on flying over the ocean. And the crow, he went on showing 100 different kinds of flight. But crow is not a high flyer, it's not a long time flyer. So after a time, he started slowly dropping down. And finally, he fell down in water and he was trying to rise up. And Swan did not know exactly what was happening. So he just asked that, oh crow, you told me that you know 100 kinds of flights and you were showing it on way. Is this 101st kind of flight? Then the crow, somehow panting for life, who was about to be drowned, says, no, you see, I've been a braggart. Please save my life. So the swan caught hold of that crow, pulled him up, threw, and then came under it, put it on his shoulders, and flew back. See, this is the problem. When we are into too many things, when we are into showing off, we forget that the purpose of life is to focus on something. Focus on something. Focus on something. Your way of life has to be fixed. Your philosophy of life has to be fixed. You complain because you don't have any philosophy of life. You complain because you don't have a clearly chalked out life. You're making, see, when we were kids, when we were in school, we also used to make big plans that today, on this day, I will complete this much. In 6 months, I will complete this much. And of course, and you will find that even today, there are people who take New Year resolve. And that resolve collapses within a day. This is what happens in life. If you really want to grow, forget this idea of short-term goal and long-term goal and doing this and doing that. Like you'll see kids, they take a cup of Horlicks and switch on the music and they start studying. That's doing simultaneously so many things. No more. And similarly, experimentation has to stop. No more experimenting with life. You need to settle down. And in that says that a very important thing is always be aware of all that you do. Be aware. Not only about focusing on one goal, it's about being aware. Whatever you are doing, for example, right now I am speaking. Everything else has gone away from my mind. I am focusing only on talking to you people. Nothing exists for me in life now. For example, you are listening to this talk. For you, it should be only listening, nothing beyond it. Whatever you're doing, be aware. I am doing this work. And everything else goes dead. And you should not do anything unconsciously. You will see that there will be a lot of check in your life. When you are reacting, in the corporate world, reaction is something very important. You will have to react. Now, if you're aware of what you listen and you want to react, automatically you will be able to delay your reaction time, and you will see that a lot of catastrophe will be avoided in your life if only you could delay your reaction for a while. Why we fail to have self control? Because we are not aware of what we are doing. Why we are not aware? Because we are into multitasking. Our mind is always running in 100 and 1,000 directions. And above all, dear friends, make sure to have at least half an hour, if not an hour, to dedicate yourself to quiet and silence. If you want to build power, if you want to grow in life, practice silence. You don't have to meditate, just sit silently, quietly in a chair. Switch off the light. Don't listen to anything. Just be quiet. Quiet and silence increases your intuitive power. It increases the power of your introspection. It increases the power to take quick decisions. Above all, it helps you grow. It helps you consolidate. So, well, I can go on talking for as many hours you want, but now our time is running out, and I was asked to keep you engaged till 7:30. Mr. Gurumurthy ji had asked. Now it's 7:25. In honor of the attention that you paid to my talk, I gave a few minutes to your questions. Hmm. It's a relief for you and for me.
Sir,
One and a
spoke
half,
about
1.5 hours spent.
sir, you spoke about again. I come back to
नहीं
the
सुनाई
same
दे रहा है
topic.
क्या? थोड़ा जोर से बोलिए. Or maybe my volume is down. I don't know.
Yeah, is it audible now? Am I audible now?
No, it's very faintly audible.
Okay,
Might
just
be
hold
some
on.
problem with our microphone. Might be. Say, speak.
Hello? Is my voice audible
Oh,
now?
yes, yes. My microphone was down. Yes, it's okay. Yes.
Sir, you spoke about wealth creation and the example that
Again, you are into wealth creation. Create the
I'm
example. You create your own example. Let you be the example in future. Just know that what I told you. Create wealth for the society. If you want to grow, if you want to be stable, forget the example. My examples might be wrong. Never go for the examples. Always go for the principles. My
okay.
example may be wrong. I may be completely wrongly informed. But the principle that I told, that's important. Create wealth. Be a child of Mother Lakshmi.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is the problem. This Amartya Sen talked about argumentative Indian. They will try to find some loopholes and argue. And I rather say freelance talkers.
Sir, it was not argument. I wanted to know how a person like me, a normal person, not a great person like Tata and all, a normal person like me can create wealth for the society and for the nation.
My brother,
Yeah.
you are taking degree in management.
Yes,
You
sir.
have been an executive for a while. You would know far better than I know. If I knew how to create wealth, I would not have been a monk. I would have been a wealth maker. I told you a principle. Principle here means that there can be only four ideals, and it was based on that the Hindu society was built. The famous Varnashram or infamous Varnashram system that you have heard. Brahmins were supposed to be dedicated to learning. Kshatriyas and Shudras, they were supposed to serve the society. And Vaishyas, they were supposed to create and circulate wealth. And there were sannyasis who had given everything for God. Indian society has been built that way. What Vaishyas did, Vaishyas never hoarded wealth. Those of you who have some idea about Indian society, you will know that Vaishyas never hoarded wealth. They just circulated wealth. So whenever they had wealth, they would build some dharmashala, they would build some temple, like builders still do that. It's a circulation of wealth. Your job is to create wealth. How you will? Once I am indoor and somebody said, no, there is so much of stress and this and that. I said, look, brother, you are paid handsomely to take up this stress. If you cannot take up stress, then be a monk like me. I cannot take stress, so I am a monk. Why take so much money? You are paid 1 lakh rupees a month, 2 lakh rupees a month. I was principal, just a joke to end. When I was principal of Devghar, the SP of the district was my college mate friend. And naturally, the DM also was friend. And there was a lot of pressure on them to have students admitted to Ramakrishna Mission with David Devgar. And they used to come and I used to laugh away. And then that SP, I think he's still there, Director General Police of Jharkhand, Mr. Kamal Nayan Chobe. He's a very close friend of mine. I'm not in touch. So he told that, see, oh, you don't understand the pressure that we have to face. And I famously told him, Kamalji, when I walk down the road and your car comes with your red beacon on, I have to move away and I have to make way for you. When you have this advantage, you have to take this stress too. Life is a package deal. When you are being paid so much, when you are getting so much of honor, you work for this company and you work for that company, that's what you have to take. You have to decide how to create wealth and how to regulate it. I gave you the fundamental principles of life. Apply as much as you can. Naturally, you cannot apply everything. Take up one idea, focus on that idea and be great, and you will see that you are evolving, you are becoming great. So, well, it's 7:30 and my time is up. In case you want to say something, you can say, I am on that LinkedIn. In fact, I am on Facebook also, and you just mention that you are from XLRI. And if you send some message, I'll definitely respond. But please, all these inane, ordinary things like uh, that my example was not right, and they said, no, I don't. Just go by the principles and believe what I say. Oh my God. Acha, there's how to control the chain of negative thoughts. Oh my God. Surabhi Gupta to everyone. Surabhi Gupta, I hope, I wished, Neera Radia, that's a correct name. Akshay has written Neera Radia. Radia tapes. It's a very famous Radia tapes. So, well, that's it. That's about it.
So
Oh
my
my God.
question has already
Just a
been
second,
addressed.
just a second. I think there's something gone wrong with my Zoom. I'm not able to see anybody. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh,
Loud
something
and clear.
gone wrong. I don't know. Oh, anyway, say I'm not able to see anybody. I
One
don't know.
question by Himanshu Gupta: how to control the chain of negative thoughts? Sometimes we tend to get fixated to the negative thoughts and they are beyond our control. So
See,
at
it
that
happens.
time,
When I get angry, I also get very angry. I have this problem. Just a second. I'm experimenting. Oh no. Oh, got it. Yes. So it happens, and partly because of age, this happens. No, there is no shortcut to these things, brother. Absolutely, there is no shortcut. You have to go on working on these things. See, we monks, we also have our weaknesses, we have our shortcomings, and we keep working on that. If you do even one of these, what we have discussed, even one, you will see that your chain of negative thoughts will be curtailed to a very great extent. बोलिए. Anything else? Oh, Dr. S.A. Jha. Thanks, Maharaj, for a good talk. I am glad that you listened. Huh. And any other discussion, any other question? So, Divyarana, you are the CR, class representative.
I'm just the host for this
Oh,
talk.
you are the host. Acha, that's why you are there. Okay. I got it. You are the host. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, nice talking to you, dear friends. And
Thank you, Swamiji, for your insightful talk, especially the Panch Yagya that you told in for the
yes,
corporate life. And thank you for taking out your time. Thank you,
yes.
Gurumurthy sir, for calling him here. And thank you everyone for participating and patiently hearing to what he has to say. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
end here, huh? Okay. Thank you.